Today we're going to read Topsy and Tim's Halloween Party. When Topsy and Tim looked out the window early one October morning, they saw something big and white flapping in the garden. "Look," said Topsy, "it's a ghost." Then Tim remembered something. "It's Halloween!" Topsy and Tim were having a Halloween party and all their friends were invited. In the kitchen, two plump pumpkins sat side by side, one for Topsy and one for Tim. After breakfast, Dad showed Topsy and Tim how to make Halloween lanterns. They drew spooky faces on the pumpkins, then Dad cut the tops off so the twins could scoop out the insides. Next, he carefully cut out the faces they had drawn and put a safe little light inside each one. "These lanterns will grow nicely in the dark," said Dad. Stumpy, their pet mouse, was watching. Tim dropped some pumpkin into Stumpy's bowl. Then he helped Topsy put the lanterns on the windowsill. Mummy was standing on a chair with a tangle of fairy lights. On the floor was a bag full of soft, fluffy white stuff. Tim pulled a bit out. It was very scratchy. Tim wrapped some around Topsy. "It's tickly," she laughed. "Oi," said Mum, "those are my cobwebs." They unwrapped Topsy and draped the cobwebs around the room instead. There were lots of party food for to get ready. Topsy and Tim made maggoty apples, mummy rolls, frozen ghost lollies, spiderweb pizza, and pumpkin cookies. At last, it was time for the party. Topsy and Tim were dressed in their Halloween costumes. Topsy was a witch and Tim was a skeleton. Topsy and Tim's friends were all dressed up too. Tony Welsh was a spider. Kerry was a witch's cat and Steve Dunton was a pirate. Last to arrive was Andy Anderson, dressed as a giant pumpkin. "Wow," said Kerry, "we're in a magical haunted house." Soon the children were chasing around, cackling like witches and wooing like ghosts. Andy watched them. He was feeling a little bit nervous. "Who'd like to play a game?" called Mummy. The first game was called Wrapping Mummies, but this was a different sort of mummy. The two teams raced as fast as they could to wrap Tony and Kerry from top to bottom in toilet paper. Soon, nearly everyone was laughing. What a mess! Mummy and Daddy held tight to the ends of a long, strong piece of string. Dangling from the string were lots of donuts. "I might need someone to help me hold this steady," said Daddy to Andy. Topsy, Tim and their friends tried to eat the donuts without using their hands. It was harder than it looked. Soon there were crumbs all over the floor. While Dad swept up, everyone danced to funny monster music. Each time the music stopped, they had to stand as still as statues without wobbling or giggling. Next was a game called apple bobbing. Apples floated in a bowl of water and everyone tried to catch one with their teeth. They all got a bit wet. "You lot won't need baths tonight," said Mummy. It was time for a story. Topsy, Tim and their friends sat down while Mummy told a tale about a witch and her magic potion. As Mummy told the story, the children put their hands into the witch's cauldron. They squealed as they felt dried rats' tails, crunchy beetles, and a tangle of spooky worms. Andy did not want to put his hand in at all. At the end of the story, Mummy taught them all a magic spell. Eye of frog and beetle's feet turn into something good to eat. Go on, said Topsy to Andy. See if the spell worked. Shall I do it with you? Asked Tim. They both put their hands into the cauldron and pulled out delicious chocolate. I like that trick, said Andy, munching his chocolate happily. There was a loud knock at the front door. It was home time. Is it home time? Wondered Dad. Standing at the doorstep was a gaggle of giggling ghosts and ghouls. They had seen Topsy and Tim's pumpkins grinning at the window, so they knew it would be all right to knock. Trick or treat, they shouted. Luckily, there was plenty of chocolate frogs left in the witch's cooking pot for all the spooky visitors to have a treat. Thank you, they said, as they helped themselves and went on their way. Tea's ready, called Mummy. It looks like skeletons' banquet, said Tim. Kerry's napkin fell off the table. It began to shuffle across the floor all by itself. Oh no, said Topsy. It must be a ghost. Topsy bravely lifted the napkin. It was Stumpy the mouse. Tim had forgotten to close the cage door at breakfast time. Topsy gently put Stumpy back in his cage, and Tim made sure the door was shut tightly this time. There were more knocks at the door, but this time it wasn't trick-or-treaters. It was mums and dads. It really was home time now. That night, as Topsy and Tim lay tucked up in their beds, 2 pumpkins glowed soft in the dark beside them. I wish it was Halloween again tomorrow, said Tim to Topsy. But Topsy was already fast asleep. And then so was Tim.